Some people are really good at setting goals for themselves, and some people aren't very good at setting goals for themselves. I'm one of those people who's not very good at setting goals for myself. I remember when I was back in high school, I had this goal my junior year that I was never going to turn in a missing or late assignment. I really struggled to get good grades, even though I knew all the information up here, so I thought the best thing for me to do is to make sure that 100% of my assignments were turned in on time. I made that goal for myself. After about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks, it was pretty clear that I wasn't going to be able to keep my goal of 0 missing assignments. So I just gave up on the whole thing, and I struggled to get a lot of my major assignments in. It really didn't work out. You see, here's the thing. Setting goals is actually pretty easy. Choosing which goals we're going to focus on doesn't require a whole lot of work on our end. Now, the truth is, a lot of us are able to talk about the different things that we want to try to accomplish. But the difficult part comes when we actually have to complete the goal and we actually have to do something regarding the goal. The trick is when we actually have to do something regarding that goal. That's typically when all of our goals fall apart. Now, I think there's a whole lot of different reasons for that, but one of the reasons I think is because of fear. A lot of us are just afraid of failure. We're afraid that if we actually set out to accomplish a goal, accomplish a task, we're not going to be able to reach that goal and we're just going to fail one more time. So why even try? So when it comes to hustling to reach your goals, it's nice in theory, but it's actually pretty exhausting and it takes a lot of time and energy to be able to accomplish. Now, there are probably some goals in your own life that you know that you need to reach, but you're afraid to even go down that path because you're afraid that it's not going to work out for you in the long run. So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking all about the book of Proverbs and all the amazing things that Proverbs tells us about a lot of life's different problems. And Proverbs actually has a lot to say about the issue of trying to set goals for yourself. In Proverbs, it says that all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk only leads to poverty. Now, a lot of times in Proverbs, what ends up happening is we see a lot of things contrasted. We see a good way to do something and a bad way to do something. And it's the same for setting goals. So for example, a lot of times in Proverbs, the word work is contrasted with the word talk. And profit is often contrasted with the word poverty. Because here's the thing, work equals success, talk equals poverty. And what I mean by that is that if you have a goal and all you want to do is talk about it and you don't actually want to put in the work for it, it's not going to lead to success. Taking those goals and putting them into a place where they actually turn into a real thing requires us to be able to do a lot of hard work on our end. Now, there's nothing wrong with talking about your goals. That's actually a really good thing to do. But you got to make sure that after you talk about your goals, you are putting in the hard work as well. And hard work means that you're taking ownership of those goals. You might really feel like you want to get better grades this semester than you did last semester. You might really feel like you want to be more active, more consistent with your devotional time than you used to be. You might feel like you want to be a better friend. Those are all really good goals, but unless you take ownership of those goals and make it your responsibility to work on those goals, they're never going to happen. It's not your pastor's responsibility. It's not your parents' responsibility. It's not your friend's responsibility. It ultimately is your responsibility to make sure those things happen. And a lot of times we look at other people who have all the things that we're trying to achieve and we think, life must be super easy for that person. They don't have to go through the same struggles that I have to. Doing their math homework, being responsible, being organized, those are all things that are super easy for them. Why can't it be easy for me? You can't think like that. You can't compare yourself to other people. You have to look at the life that you've been given, and you got to figure out how you can use your life to be able to glorify God by working hard to own the goals that you have in front of you. And that's why that word ownership is so important. Sometimes people act like their life doesn't belong to them, like they're just kind of passing through and they're reacting to everything that's coming along. But the truth is that our life is something that is a gift from God. And it's up to us what we do with that life. All the choices that we make ultimately will affect things that happen in the future. And that includes the goals that we set. After you set those goals, it's important that you become an owner of those goals. So you may be wondering, what's one practical thing you can do if you're trying to set some new goals for yourself? What I suggest is pick one area of your life where you have not been acting like an owner. Pick one area of your life that you've just kind of let fall to the wayside, one area of your life where you know you haven't had success and you haven't really done anything about that. Pick that area of your life and determine that you're going to become an owner of that area. You're going to go out of your way to make a specific goal to follow in that area. That area could be your health. That area could be your finances, your money. The area could be your schoolwork. It could be your relationships. Whatever that area is, make sure you're setting a very specific goal that you are now owning and taking responsibility for. And make sure you're including other people in that process. That's a great thing to be able to talk to with your friends. It's a good thing to be able to talk to with your small group leader to help hold you accountable for those goals, to ask you how it's going, to ask you what plans you're putting in place to make sure that those goals actually become a reality. The Bible is very clear that we can't do any of this by ourselves. We need other people in our life who are going to hold us accountable, who are going to tell us when we're going the wrong way, and who are going to make sure that we are growing in our faith. That's super important. So if this all seems like a really big thing to you, how about this? Pick one thing that you're going to focus on over the next 7 days. And then think about what are some things related to that goal that you can control. So if your goal is to spend more time in God's Word, that would be your one thing. So don't look at your entire future of your walk with God. Just look at the next 7 days and say, what am I going to do in the next 7 days to accomplish that goal? First, you're going to have to be very specific. When you say you're going to spend more time in God's Word, for example, don't use a word like more, give a number and put that number on paper somewhere so you remember it. And then over the next 7 days, have someone work alongside you, talking you through it on how you're going to accomplish that goal. Pick a very small goal that it will not be extremely difficult or impossible for you to reach. Because the truth is, all of those small choices that you're making now are ultimately going to lead you to your future. Those small choices start to add up and ultimately they become lifestyle changes, which is what we're ultimately looking for. So it's important that we put all of that talk into action and into steps to be able to reach a goal in any area that we're really struggling in.